Okay, these are some of the supplements and the tea that I was telling you about. So the first one is glucosamine and chondroitin. And I get this through bodybuilding.com, but there's plenty of other places where you can get it. It's very popular. They typically will be a mix of glucosamine, chondroitin, and sometimes MSM will be in there. And just be careful what company you go with for any of this stuff. Make sure it's a reputable company. They have studies that have been done where the supplement companies are, first of all, they're not regulated by the FDA. So that leaves some room for error with companies that are sketchy. So some of them actually do not have the full amount of the product, if any of the product that they say is actually on the label. It will be stuffed with fillers to save them money. So make sure what you're putting in your body is pure and it's of good quality. So really the point of this with the glucosamine and chondroitin is for your joints. So the joint pain that we are talking about, this will really help with that. It's for people that have just, general joint pain, osteoarthritis, and their bodies are just kind of broken down from the wear and tear of life and from being active. So this helps rebuild that cartilage and naturally boost your recovery of your tissues after an injury, surgery, or just simply exercise and daily life. It helps bring down inflammation, and it produces fluid. So the synovial fluid is what it's called, that's in between your joints. It helps promote that production, so it helps with the lubrication of your joints. And so with the production of that fluid, it's also going to help with your tissue and joints being more flexible because they're going to be properly hydrated. So next we have the glutamine, and I don't think I told you about this one in our conversation, but glutamine is very important to me and something that is our body's need. So 60% of our skeleton is actually made up of glutamine, and it aids in protein synthesis, and it also helps balance your pH levels. This one, I got this through bodybuilding.com too, but it's not their product line. This one is a separate one. It's Evolution. It's EVLUTION Nutrition. And this is all just L-glutamine in here. So it's 5,000 milligrams per scoop, and their scoop is 5 grams. And it's unflavored. I mix this in. Typically, I'll do like these. I'll get to these in a minute. But I'll do a scoop of this and a scoop of this, or I'll do like a quarter cup of apple juice and then a scoop of this and the rest ice and water, and I blend those up. I have a Ninja. I use this probably 10 times a day with all of our drinks, and I highly recommend getting one of the Ninjas if you don't have one. So now with the glutamine, it's an amino acid. It helps to build muscle. It helps to preserve your muscle. And it's also been known to help burn fat. And that's really, I can't say that I've had that result, but I definitely don't hold on to any fat really. So I can't say that I've lost weight using it, because my method is more to gain muscle. And studies have been done though that I've looked into that says that it helps promote burning fat. So I know that it's also very good for brain health. It'll boost your athletic performance, and studies also, because I'm very into clinical research, so I look into a lot of studies. It's actually used to treat leaky gut. So if anybody you know is having issues with their stomach, this may be something to add in if they don't already have that in their diet. The reason I really like it is that it helps repair your body and keep it from going into a catabolic state, which catabolism is when your body is basically eating itself. So it would be tearing down that muscle tissue and breaking it down. Since I do have a high metabolism and I'm very active, I want to hold on to as much muscle as possible. So this is why I feel this is a very good supplement to add in. And it just helps repair your body and prevent that muscle wasting. And they even give this to people that are critically ill that have undergone a bone marrow transplant or are the donors. So, it's used in the medical industry itself, but it's something that I just think is, even if you're not ill, is something that you should be taking. Now, the next one are BCAAs. This is a brand that has, it's BCAAs plus hydration. And the reason why they're claiming hydration is because it has coconut water powder in it. And I love coconut water. If you don't drink it, I would highly recommend it. make sure that it's something that doesn't have a lot of additives with sugar and just junk added in. So get something pure. Now, BCAAs are if you're not familiar with it, it stands for branched chain amino acids. This is something that is very important for our bodies. BCAAs are the building blocks of protein, and it is an essential amino acid, meaning that it cannot be produced by your body. You must get it through your food, through your nutrition, or through supplementation. And they help reduce fatigue and increase endurance. And it also helps in promoting holding on to that lean muscle mass. It helps regulate your glucose, so it's going to stabilize your insulin levels. It helps improve glucose uptake and decrease your insulin sensitivity in healthy individuals. And now the next would be, I've just recently started this. This one is called Sleep Mode, and it's by the same company that I get the Glutamine through. I've only taken this about, I want to say 3 nights, maybe 4. I feel like maybe it's working. I think it's kind of early to tell because Chris has been gone, and quite frankly, I sleep better when he's not here. So I don't know if it's the medication, or it's not medicine, it's supplements. I don't know if it's that, or if it's just the fact that, I'm just getting a more restful sleep across the board anyway. So this is vegetarian, non-GMO, both very important to me. You might be thinking, like, how is this vegetarian? Of course, it doesn't have meat in it. Gelatin. So capsules that you'll often take, anything that's gelatin, like the outer shell of a capsule, even like marshmallows will have gelatin in them. That's made from animal bone. It's like a broke down gelatinous substance that is actually derived of animals. So a lot of people aren't familiar with that, but they do have vegetarian ones. And right now, like I said, kind of new, so I'm trying it out. No negative side effects of it that I've seen, but I can't necessarily say that it's 100% because of this that I've been sleeping better. Now this is the tea from Aveda that I was telling you about. I love this. It's 100% organic and caffeine free. And this is, let's see here. So it has, where's the ingredients? Licorice root, peppermint leaf, and sweet fennel basil. And this to me is delicious. I'll have this about 30 minutes or so before bed, maybe even like an hour before. And I just enjoy drinking it. And this can be kind of expensive, so sometimes I'll alternate between the two, or I'll have this if I am on the road and I don't have the packets of this one, because this time I bought the loose leaf. I wanted to try that because you get more for your money, but what I find out is I don't like it as much because it leaves sediment in the mug, and I just don't really like that when I'm drinking it, to have that. Even when I use the strainers and stuff, there's still some of that loose leaf floating around, and I feel like I end up actually wasting some of the product. So I'm going to go back to the actual just bags like these are in. So this one is, it has chamomile and lavender with hints of cinnamon, and again, it's caffeine free, obviously, because it's a bedtime tea. But these are both just organic herbal teas. This one I got at, I believe Target is where this one came from. And then this one is through the Aveda stores, or you can go online through Aveda and get that. So I think that pretty much covers it all.